Alrighty. So today's video, we're going to be talking about rolling a covered call for a loss, right? Is it good or is it bad? Is it actually a viable strategy or is it just downright a mistake, right? So let's find out. So whenever we're rolling a covered call, the general rule of thumb is to always roll your covered call for a credit. That's because when you roll for credit, right, you can reduce your cost basis over time, and it also helps cushion the losses if the stock drops. So having a covered call in this sense, when you're rolling for a credit, it really helps you get more profits over time. But there are times when you actually can't roll out and up for credit, right? So when we are rolling our covered call, most of the time we want to be rolling out and up, because this way we can get some credit extrinsic value. At the same time, we make room for the underlying stock to go up, right, to gain some intrinsic value, because ultimately the driver of a covered call profit is from the gains of the underlying stock or from your long call if you are doing a poor man's covered call. So there are times when you can't actually roll out and up for a credit, is when your covered call is deep in the money and when you don't want to roll too far out in time, right? Ideally, we want days to expiration 45 for optimal theta decay. So for example, let's say that we have sold a covered call somewhere around here, right? So at this point of time, the market has gone really high, really went above our covered call, and it's pretty much deep in the money. So ideally, what we want to do normally is to roll out and up in time, right? So we roll to a further expiration date. At the same time, we want to roll to a higher strike price, so we gain more on this difference down here in the underlying stock, right? The intrinsic value gain down here. But the problem is that sometimes when it's too deep in the money, you can't actually roll for a credit. So if you want to roll for credit, you may have to roll to a much further expiration date, right? What happens, if you sold a 45 days covered call down here, and within just the next 5 days, your covered call got breached. So in this case, you may need to roll to a much further expiration date, maybe to the 60 days or 90 days, or may have to go even further to 120 days or more, right? So when it becomes too far out, right, we don't really have this optimal theta decay, because the speed of the theta, where the extrinsic value really starts to decay from 45 days down to 0. But if you were to have a option that has about 90 to 120 days or more, it's going to have much lesser theta decay. So this is where we really need to balance, the strike price at the same time as the days to expiration left on the covered call. So this is one of those times where you may have to roll for a loss, right? So you may have to roll for a loss, and it means that you are very bullish on the underlying stock, right? If you're very bullish on the underlying stock, then it does make sense to roll for a loss, and you are also prioritizing intrinsic value gain on the stock or the call option. And also at the same time, you do not want your covered call to be too far out in time, right? So I'm going to go over to the TD Ameritrade platform to show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so we are in my Think or Swim platform here by TD Ameritrade. So I want to give you an example, right? So let's say, for example, on this chart down here, let's say for UNH, let's say you sold a covered call at around the $500 mark, and the market right now has gone all the way to 537. So around this point of time, right, you might say you want to roll. So if you want to roll, the thing is that, right, you may have maybe you still have 37 days left to expiration on this covered call, right? You may have sold it around 45 days, then just within 7 days, the market has gone way above your covered call, right? So at this point of time, you want to roll it. So here's the dilemma that you may face. So for example, if you want to roll your covered call, most of the time we want to roll to the next expiration date, right? It could be for the 44 days. So this is normally the optimal time frame which we want to roll a covered call to, because this is where we have optimal theta decay. But there are times when you do this, you realize that you are not able to roll for a credit, right? So for example, if I want to roll out and up, you see, if I roll to 510, it'll be for a debit. So if it's for a debit, you'll be actually giving up $7.68 just to get maybe about $2.32. So we may want to adjust this, right? So let's say if we were to go to a further out date, can we get a credit? So this is the kind of a decision-making process you have to make when you roll. So at this point of time, you see, you can roll to the 21st October, but it becomes 72 days to expiration. So it's quite far out in time, but you still get a debit, but at least the debit is not so bad. So you'll be giving up $1 to get $9, roughly $9 in intrinsic value gain. So that means you'll be rolling to 510. That means if the market is to stay above 510 at the expiration date, it means that you actually gain an additional $8 something, right? Almost $9 in intrinsic value gain. If you had just wanted to roll for a credit, right, you may have to roll all the way, or maybe you may just want to stay to 500, right? If you roll this, you will only be getting $6 in terms of extrinsic value, right? So if you roll for a debit for a loss, and the market stays above 510, you'll be getting about $8.85. But if you were to roll just to the same strike price, you get $6, but you lose out on the $2 in intrinsic value gain. So this is kind of a dilemma that you have to make, right? A decision that you have to make. Now, what if you rolled it to even further out to try and get a credit? So let's say I roll to the 510 and I'm going to roll to 16 December. Now, if you roll to 16 December, it's definitely going to give you a credit. In fact, you're going to get $680 for the roll, right? So $6.80, you can roll to 510. But the problem is that now you have rolled too far out in time, right? It's 128 days. So if you're going to roll for 128 days, what happens if UNH continues to rally from here and it goes all the way to 600? And if, let's say, imagine if it goes to 600 in, let's say, 30 days. If it goes there in 30 days, now your option would have roughly 100 days. And where are you going to roll it to? You're going to roll it even further out in time, and it reaches a point where it's going to be few hundred days out just for a covered call, which it doesn't really make too much sense then, because your money will be tied up in this position and you're not going to gain any additional money as well. So this is where the balance you have to make. So maybe this is where you might want to consider rolling for a loss. So this is where maybe you might consider going to 21st October and then roll to 510. So this way, at least it's not too far out in time. As you can see, the difference between 21st October to 16th December is about 50 days out, right? 50 something days. So that's pretty far out in time. So if you were to roll to the 21st October, it's at least not too bad, right? It's about 72 days, and then you still can get a $9 in intrinsic value gain, about $9. So you'll be rolling this to 510, and then you still have 72 days left, right? 72 days left, and hopefully the market, do not rally too far up, and it could maybe hit the resistance points before coming down. And that's when the days to expiration left will start to get slightly lesser. And as you get slightly lesser, that's when your theta decay can start to pick up and starts to erode the value, right? Capture most of the profit on your covered call. So this is one of the kind of the dilemma, the predicament you have to face. So I'm going to give you an example of actually what I did on this stock, on UNH, where not too long ago I actually did roll for a loss. Okay, so this is a trade on the UNH, United Health, where I had to roll for a loss a few times. And I'm going to share with you the decision-making process I had on why I decided to roll my covered call for a loss rather for a credit. So on this date, I actually did open a position for the poor man's covered call, where I long a call somewhere around this price down here. Which is quite a pretty good price, and then I sold a cover call at the 410 strike price. Now, just a few days later only, as you can see, just a number of days later, it breached, or rather it touched my cover call at 410. So at this point of time, I wanted to roll because it seems very strong to me. And if you watch my video on the rolling the cover call, you'll know that if you do not want your stock to be called away, the best time for you to roll your cover call is when the market actually reaches your cover call strike price. And since it was pretty early on in time when I first sold my cover call, right, roughly about 5 to 6 days since I sold the cover call, I wanted to quickly roll this to a further out in time, as well as roll to a higher strike price before it gets too deep in the money, because I'm still pretty bullish on the stock, right? So on this date, I decided to roll it out and up in time. But the problem is that when I roll it out and up in time, right, I had to roll for a debit, as you can see down here. And the reason is because I only rolled it out about 2 weeks later. I didn't want the expiration date of the cover call to be too far out, because at this point in time, my cover call when I first sold it is around 45 days, right? So 5 days has passed, it's still around 40 days. So if I were to roll it out again for credit, it may extend to maybe 70 days or 80 days, and I didn't want to hang on to a cover call that is too far out. So at this point of time, the decision which I made, or rather the thought process which I had, was that I was hoping that the market would go up and then kind of come back down within this time frame. So this way my cover call would expire out of money, and they would just leave me the long leap, right? So this is because I kind of have a very bullish outlook after this move up down here, especially after it had a very good earnings report. So that's my decision down here. So when I rolled this up, right, one thing to notice is that this is a 10 points move up, right? So I moved up from 410 to 420. So what is it that I gave up? So I gave up any positive extrinsic value to gain some intrinsic value on my underlying long call position, right? So when I do this, what I'm essentially doing is I'm giving up $2.60 to gain $10. If I give up $2.60 to gain $10, well, my net profit would be $7.40 if the market really does go up above 420. So at this point of time, this is pretty much kind of a little bit of a balance, also a little bit of a risk, because if the market actually doesn't go up above 420, all right, and then it just goes immediately from this point in time, it goes down, then I would have actually lost $2.60 just for rolling this for a loss. So what happened next, as you can see, the price really did gap up, and from there it just continued going up. So this was a very strong momentum up. So on one end, I was right on the direction that it went above 420. So in this case, I actually gained the 714 intrinsic value, right, because I wrote it up there, but it went way too high above my strike price. So at this point in time, I had to make a decision to make another roll, because I could get exercised if, right, the market continues to go up in time and never comes back down. At the same time, I didn't want to just lock my profit to just this small little portion down here, right? The profit is being locked because of my cover call, and my entry price is somewhere around here. So the next thing I need to do is to decide on the roll. At this point in time, I decided to do a roll from 420 to 440. So you can see that is a 20 points roll, but then I took a loss of roughly $15 in debit, right? So why did I do this? So the reason I did this is because I couldn't find any other strikes, or rather I couldn't get a strike that I wanted, right? I wanted to go from 420 to 440 for a credit, right? Because it has already gone too deep in the money. And while I could go even further, right, you notice that I actually rolled from November to December, which is about another 1 month out. The thing is that I didn't want to go to January or February or even to March, right? I didn't want it to go too far out in time. So this is where I thought that, you know, if I were to roll to the 440 point, and if the market was to continue going up, right, again, I'm still very bullish, because again, after this positive earnings, right, I felt that if the market continue to go up, I would be able to gain the $5 in intrinsic value, and I give up $14 right down here. So I give up $14 to get $20. I will get an additional $5. So at the end, you can see that UNH really did continue to go up all the way, right? It ended up even higher later on. But after this time, I managed to roll a few times after the market came down. I rolled it up a few more times. I think eventually I rolled it to about 470, right? And the remaining rolls, I did it for credit, because I already did too many debit rolls, which I didn't want to erode anymore into my profit. So I decided to do a credit roll later on. As you can see, if I do the credit roll, I only could limit myself to 470. If I had done a debit roll, right, I could have probably gotten even further, maybe to 490. But then again, the market has already gone pretty high up at this point. So around 470, I kind of felt that maybe the market may be a little bit overbought, right, over exhausted to the top. It may start to make its move down. So I decided to get out of the whole position as a whole, right? In the end, it did go up. So well, at the end, I still did get out for a pretty decent profit, so I'm fine with that. But here's the thing to take note, right? If I hadn't rolled for a debit at this point in time, right, or if I had rolled out for a cover call very far out in time for a credit, the problem is that it will be very hard for me to roll this covered call later on, because if I'm too far out in time, it'll be harder for me to want to roll from a 180 days position to a 240 days position, if you understand what I mean, right? So I wanted to kind of balance the number of days to expiration left as well as the strike price which I want to roll to. So in hindsight, this was actually, I thought it was actually a pretty decent roll, because although I gave up, any credit for rolling on the cover call, I managed to gain the intrinsic value difference, right, by rolling to the strike price which I wanted, right? So I rolled for 20 points, I gave up $15, I gained a net $5 at the end of the day, right? Because the market still continued to go above my strike price. All right, guys. So whether should you roll a cover call for a loss? Ultimately, this is a decision that you have to make. But if you feel you're very bullish on the underlying stock, then it doesn't really hurt to roll for a loss if your view is right. And if you can roll for a small debit, that will be good as well. But at the end of the day, you really have to manage, right? You have to balance the strike price as well as the days to expiration left on your covered call. Alright guys, so I hope this video has been helpful for you, and if it has, I will greatly appreciate if you would subscribe and also give me a thumbs up. And as always, I appreciate your time for watching, and may the options favor you.